Good evening and welcome to PEOMIOSFYRDS live on UWW-TV. I'm Alex Monti, joined by co-hosts Nazir Spencer and Gabe Sadowski. And we ask you to please excuse our momentary interruption of sports from your regular daily schedule. Great to have you back for another week, and we have lots to cover again. Nazir, Gabe, I guess let's just dive right into it at this point. Obviously, big news in the NBA with LeBron James. Up first, of course, is the NBA's leading scorer, LeBron James becoming the first player ever to surpass 40,000 points, despite a loss earlier this week. It's obviously this is going to be cementing his legacy in the long term. He managed to hit the mark with a layup in the second quarter, as LeBron continues to average roughly 25 points per game this season. In year 21, this record could grow to be unbreakable. Nazir, will we ever see anyone reach 40,000 points again? And does this boost LeBron's greatest of all time argument?
I don't think anyone's going to break this record, and it's getting really hard to not call LeBron James the GOAT anymore, because he's just breaking so many records. He's doing so many great things for the game, and his longevity is unbelievable. It's unmatched. Like, no one can compare to that. So I mean, I don't think it's never going to be broken, first of all. And the next player up is KD at 28,000, which is 12,000 points less. So man, it's truly unbelievable, like what he's able to accomplish at the age of 39. He broke the record last year. He's continuing on his legacy with the 40,000 mark. I mean, no one's ever going to touch that, and that's something that a lot of people need to start recognizing. I know the ring debate, we were just talking about that, but I mean, it's getting harder and harder every year.
Yeah,
truly.
Yeah, and I think the big thing that a lot of people miss too, Nazir. I mean, you touched on the longevity aspect of it all, right? You got to be healthy for a very, very long time, very, very little. And we've seen that with LeBron in his career. We've seen him be healthy almost the entirety of it, and he's really not faced any injury issues since the latter half of his career in these last couple of years, right, in his twilight zone. So, I mean, that's really the big thing, I think, that has kind of set LeBron up to be in the position that he's in and to be able to score as many points as he has. I mean, 40,000 points, that's no small feat, and nobody has done that before LeBron James.
I mean, even Kareem couldn't do it with, his height and his amazing talent that he had. So it's like, man,
and he had magic. He had
magic. So he had the best passer of all time, arguably. So I mean, and he was on the Bucks for a little bit too. But it's hard. So I truly respect LeBron. I really appreciate what he's done. If you don't respect LeBron at this point, there's something wrong with you, I feel like, because the NBA it wouldn't be at that point right now if LeBron hadn't been the face of this for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my huge opinion. Now, GOAT debate, it's still tough.
Yeah.
Four finals or 4 wins and 10 appearances, 11 appearances, whatever it is. But I mean, 6 and 6 is something special. So. That's why I continue to put Jordan over, but the ring debate is getting less. The margin is getting very small every year, every single year for me.
Yeah, it's just like J. Cole said. They act like two legends. They can't coexist.
No, they can coexist. They have been, and I mean, LeBron. If LeBron wins one more ring, there's no debate. Even if he wins an MVP, I don't think there's a debate anymore.
He's not winning any MVPs though at this point.
I really can't see it.
I don't see it, but if he wins something like that, even a Defensive Player of the Year, I mean,
I mean,
10 years ago, sure.
I'm not saying he will win it now. I'm just saying if he does.
I mean, if it's a big
but he's
if.
not.
He's
not though.
just a big if. That's just
very,
my thing.
very big if.
That's my thing.
It's very big if. From a one scoring record to another, we move on to Caitlin Clark breaking the all-time scoring record for the NCAA. 2 weeks ago, she became the all-time leader for the women, and now she's passed Pistol Pete Maravich's record across all of Division I that has stood for over 50 years. She also announced that after this season, she is declaring for the WNBA draft. Gabe, do you think anyone could ever touch Clark's NCAA record, and can she lead Iowa to a national championship this year before she departs?
I don't think so. I think Caitlin Clark, I think what she's been able to do, when people talk college basketball nowadays, nobody's thinking about what the men are doing. Everybody's talking about Caitlin Clark, okay? The gravity that she has amongst fans and the marketability that she brings to, it's unprecedented. Like, we've never seen this before with the college athlete, or at least for a very long time, it seems like. And I think what she's been able to do is never going to be replicated again. Men or women, does not matter.
I will slightly disagree with that, just because of the the game just keeps evolving.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see another player
No, that's
in
true.
a few years.
That's true.
Just have this breakout season, and they're gonna get all the coverage, all the nighttime games, everyone's gonna know who they are. But in regards of that record that she just broke, it's gonna be really hard to do that. But I don't know if it's unbreakable. Like we were just talking about LeBron, but Caitlin Clark's record. I mean, Pistol Pete was outstanding in college, but like we were discussing before, he did it with only 2-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine someone else now doing it with threes like she's doing. And the game just keeps evolving. We're gonna see someone eventually. She's inspired people.
Mm-hmm.
So when you inspire people, sometimes that leads to someone being better than you eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my opinion. But I hope it doesn't get broken because she's outstanding. She's gonna be one of the greatest ever in WNBA. So that's that. I don't think it'll. I think it'll get broken eventually, just not anytime soon for sure.
I feel like the big thing is that nowadays with the NBA, or not NBA, but with the college basketball, it's a lot of one and dones and stuff, and like having people that stick around for the
Very
long
true.
term.
See, that's
the
the
difficult part, and
Exactly.
that's why with like the women's side, they're doing that a bit more than the men's. So it's just I have a hard time imagining it. But like you said, game evolves. Maybe it'll go back to meaning something to play college ball again.
I'm excited to see what she does if they end up making it far in the playoffs, like they did last year.
I mean, who knows? Better than the men's team in Iowa. Back to the NBA, where another individual accolade race is heating up just as it does every year around this time. The NBA MVP award is a hotly contested debate once again, with Nikola Jokic currently the favorite to win his 3rd award in 4 years. However, the Thunder's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Bucks' Giannis Antetokounmpo are close behind. Luka Doncic for the Mavericks and Jason Tatum for the Celtics are also in the mix. Nazir, is this Joker's race to lose? And if somebody does catch him, who will it be?
I personally don't think that Jokic should get the MVP this year. Only due to the fact it's not as impressive as his first two. You can't argue that. His first two MVPs were extremely impressive.
Yeah.
So this voters fatigue that we're having with Jokic, I think that should occur because we have it with Giannis, we have it with LeBron.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Giannis is still the best player in the world to me. When I watch Giannis, I think best player, face of the league when LeBron.
Yeah,
leaves.
I agree.
Okay, but Jokic right now, I do think it's his race to lose. I really do. But the person that's going to catch him is either Giannis or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is outstanding. The only reason Luka will not win it, Luka Doncic will not win it, is because of his seeding.
Yeah.
And that's another thing we're going to get into with the play-in. That team is not built for a playoff run right now. For some reason, they're just not. Their offense is outstanding, but they cannot play Luka defense. So I don't know if Jokic really, he's going to probably get it due to Embiid being out.
Yeah.
But, I think Giannis and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think Shai should win it right now personally because that team is outstanding. They're the 1 seed. If they lock up the 1 seed, I think that he for sure should win it. So that's where I'm going with that for sure.
I want to give my flowers to Jason Tatum.
I was going to say that too, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Jason
been
Tatum,
great.
he has been. And I'm a Bucks fan too, so
He's great. I love Jason Tatum,
I
bro.
mean this seriously.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum, the guy is insane, okay?
Absolutely.
And I want the Bucks to win. I'm really rooting for Jason Tatum more so, not the Celtics.
Exactly.
But I'm rooting for Jason Tatum come playoff time. And I hope he wins the MVP because I really do think he deserves it, I saw Jason Tatum game 6 in 2022 in Milwaukee, okay? That man, he took the energy out of the arena, okay? And from that moment on, I was a fan. I love Jason Tatum, and I think he needs his flowers at some point. If it's not this year, he's got to. It's coming up. It's coming up.
You see, the thing with that is they have such a stacked team, so they're not gonna give it to him if he's obviously he's the best player on the team, but their team all around is just so great. Like with Shai and Luka, no one on their team is better than them, not even close. So I mean, Chet might be the closest one to Shai on that team, but he's a rookie, so they're not going to give it to him, obviously. So, and no one's better than Giannis on the Bucks.
No,
not Dame, especially. Not Dame. Not Dame right now. Not Chris Middleton. Not Brook Lopez. So, I think those guys that have that title should win that.
Yeah, I mean, that's all fair, and I feel like with the voters fatigue, that's another fair point. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk about potential NBA play-in game matchups and what's happening in the NFL. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with PEOMIOSFYRDS on UWW TV.
NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
For Hawk Talk, especially on days I'm hosting, you really need to be up early looking at those news stories, even the night before. I'm finding topics that I can incorporate in the show, and I feel like we get a conversation going.
Once you get the opportunity to do that with other people who appreciate it the same level as you do, it makes it that much more enjoyable.
For everything sports, tune in Monday through Thursday at 91.7 The Edge or watch us on UWW TV.
Are you bored on campus? Then come down to Warhawk Alley in the University Center. We have everything you need to take a break from your studies and have a great time. So come blow off some steam with our air hockey, darts, foosball, video games, 8 top-of-the-line Brunswick pool tables, and our 10-lane bowling alley. We have nightly specials, blacklight bowling, tournaments, and tons of chances to win prizes. For more information or to set up a reservation, call Warhawk Alley at 262-472-5681.
Here at UW Whitewater Intramural Sports, we have a motto: a sport for everyone and everyone in a sport.
Come on! Stepped it anyways. Oh, she got that off. They're going to count it.
Had a blast. Always have fun at intramurals.
Every day we strive to go above and beyond that goal by providing healthy exercise, promoting leisure education, and giving students that competitive atmosphere they are looking for.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
It's exciting. Brings me back to those high school days with Friday Night Lights.
With our 25 different intramural sports offered, we guarantee that we have a sport for you. Go to our website and find your sport today.
Welcome back to PEOMIOSFYRDS live on UWW-TV. Besides the MVP award, another aspect of the NBA postseason to keep an eye on is the play-in games and the potential matchups we could get there. As of right now, play-in games in the East would be the 76ers versus the Pacers and the Bulls versus the Hawks. In the West, we'd see the Kings versus Mavericks and Lakers versus Warriors. Gabe, will all these same teams be in the play-in games come playoff time? Which team could you see making a potential Miami Heat-like run to the finals?
I don't know if we're going to see a Miami Heat type run when we get to the finals. I think that last year, Miami's just such a different team, and I think their ability to, we talk about that Heat culture, right? Like, it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
It's like the one instance culture is actually real, I think.
Exactly. In terms of teams, I think that are going to, move up in the play-in. I think the Pacers are going to move up. I can see them finishing around that 6 or 5 range in the East. I think the 76ers, they might stay there. I think it's going to depend on how well they do when Embiid gets back eventually. And in terms of the West, I can see the Warriors sticking in that play-in range. I think they don't have it anymore. And it sucks to say as a basketball fan, because I do love those Warrior teams of the 2010s. But, I think looking at things, I don't see the Warriors being able to move up in the playoff range.
Do you see the Lakers making it then? Because I don't see how either of those teams are getting left out of the play-in, because the Mavericks are in the play-in, the Kings are in the play-in. It's going to be a very great play-in in the West. So my thing is, who has the more experience? None of those teams, no one wants to see Lakers or Warriors first round.
I agree with that.
No one. Like, the 1 and the 2 are potentially going to be the Thunder and the Timberwolves, and neither of those teams want to see the Lakers or the Warriors, because you have top 10 players on that team, of all time. So they have these playoff experience, and both two are the face of the league. I don't see how the NBA doesn't even allow them to get that far, And I don't think LeBron would allow themselves not to get to the playoffs as they've been playing. So wishy-washy, but well enough to make it, And the Warriors, Steph Curry is just not going to let that happen.
Yeah.
So
I think the Lakers, I think they will. I think they'll still be in the play-in, but I can see them squeaking in at that 7-8 seed, though. I don't see them getting eliminated. If they get eliminated, that would shock me personally, because I feel like we've seen with them the past few years, they've made the play-in, and then they've just blown away with their expectations, especially last year, making it all the way to Western Conference Finals, excuse me. Granted, they did get eliminated in 4 games, but it was a close 4 games regardless against Denver, though.
Right. I don't know. The East is looking a little different too. I mean, we got the Heat, the Hawks. I don't know if the Hawks really make it.
I'm not taking the Hawks seriously.
I wouldn't take them
the
either.
Hawks seriously.
I don't know why I even said that. So there's some teams that just don't make sense to me. So those 1 and 2 slots are they're going to be fine the first round, in my opinion.
For sure.
All likelihood. Russell Wilson will officially be a free agent come March 12th once the new NFL season begins, the Denver Broncos announced. Despite this being an expected move, it is still a surprise given how much Denver gave up to get Wilson from the Seahawks just 2 years ago. The Broncos will now have an NFL record $85 million in dead cap space, and Wilson is free to sign with a new team. Nazir, is the Broncos trade with Seattle the worst in NFL history, given the circumstance? Also, where will Russ be playing come next season?
It's not even like the worst. It's not the worst trade in history. It's just the worst decision I've ever seen. I mean, you pay Russell Wilson all of this money, and I'm a big Russell Wilson fan, guys. But Russell Wilson, he's a great quarterback. He's not an MVP caliber quarterback, but he's good enough to win you some playoff games. Okay. Now, he didn't have the greatest, first year with the Broncos. It was not great by any means. No. But last year, he didn't even play that bad. He was throwing dots out there, going absolutely bonkers. He was playing like Russell Wilson. But when you drop Russell Wilson, you cut him, and you say it's worth it, but it's not. You're now in depth $85 million. And what are you going to do during free agency? You're going to trade people? You're going to trade your highest paid people? You're going to trade Jerry Jeudy? You're going to trade Courtland Sutton? No, there's no point in doing that. I think it's the most pointless thing ever, and I think they should be very ashamed of themselves. And I really hope Russell Wilson gets a ring in the next 2 years now. I really do.
I think the Broncos winning Super Bowl 50, I think that was the worst possible thing that could have happened to them.
I agree.
Wow.
It's
I think that was
unbelievable.
the worst thing that could have happened to them, And granted, like Peyton Manning, yeah, he went out on a high note. Like, don't get me wrong, like great for him. They have not been the same franchise since,
Ever since, literally.
They've gone from Paxton Lynch to Brock Osweiler. I mean, guys I've never heard of, and we never will ever again. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's great.
Trevor Siemian.
No disrespect, Drew Lock. But they haven't recovered. And it's been almost it's been 8 years since they've won that Super Bowl now. Like, they got to figure it out.
Pathetic team.
I was going to say John Elway could be part of the problem. Last week we talked about the NFL free agent market and where players may sign. Well, we've had some notable new additions to that list, including Jamal Adams, Jerome Baker, and obviously Russ. There have also been some very notable signings in the past week as well. These include Mike Evans heading back to the Buccaneers, Dalton Schultz to the Texans, and players like Josh Allen, Michael Pittman Jr., and Brian Burns all being franchise tagged by their respective squads. Gabe, who is the most important re-signed/tagged player to their team so far?
Yeah, I think Josh Allen especially, the linebacker Josh Allen, okay? Not quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that is huge for them because I think, they should have went to the playoffs last year, first of all, but they lost that big game there at the end. And
they lost a lot of big games along the way.
They did, but they're on the right track, I think if I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm going into this offseason and I'm tightening things up, Don't change a whole lot. Just tighten your group of guys up together, just fix out some kinks. We'll be good, I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl.
No, they will not.
No, they're not. Of course they're not. It's Jacksonville. But if they just iron out some kinks and just, put all their eggs in a basket, whatever terms, analogies you want to use, they're going to be fine.
Okay, you're going to like this one. I think the best re-signing was Michael Pittman Jr., okay? Now, hear me out.
I like it too.
Anthony Richardson. He would have won Rookie of the Year last year if he didn't hurt. I strongly believe that. You know why? Because when him and CJ were going at it, he had the upper hand. He was winning those games. He lost the game because he got injured. But Anthony Richardson having that number one wide receiver and being able to re-sign people or sign people off free agency, building that around him, that team is going to be very scary. Especially re-signing Jonathan Taylor last year. Oh man, I'm a big Anthony Richardson fan, dude. Everyone's forgot about him since he got injured. So he's going to be great. Michael Pittman Jr. was the best re-sign, in my opinion.
I think the Mike Evans re-signing, too, I think that's interesting to me because obviously, he's kind of at the twilight in his career at this point.
That's a good one, yeah.
But I just think it's going to be interesting how that's going to play out in Tampa Bay overall.
Yeah. True. I have to figure out who's going to pass to him, though.
Yeah.
We're going to take another break, and when we return, we'll have our 2-minute drill talking about everything we missed. Stay tuned. This is PEOMIOSFYRDS on UWW TV.
I learned a lot of valuable lessons playing college football. I never thought about the health benefits of exercise until I actually started to talk to coaches in college. It's not only just for performance, it's for life. My coaches instilled the importance of well-being, not only building up strength, mental health, getting enough sleep, eating properly is all what it is to be healthy. I decided that I want to go into personal trainer and share my knowledge that I obtained in college about physical and mental well-being.
Your home for excellence in action. The WIAC Network. Watch and download here.
Matt checking in to see how Sam is doing on his project. And it's getting close to exporting now, the final step in the process. And it is complete, and Sam is hyped. Finally gets complete and spikes the ball into the end zone. Sam's celebrating with his colleagues, and they throw a flag on the play. The ref's going to call excessive celebration. Sam is in disbelief and can't believe it. He tries to dispute the call, but the ref is not having any of it.
Here at UWW, we put a lot of emphasis on shaping your involvement. Involvement helps you get to know more people with similar values and goals as yourself. The Student Involvement Office can help you get involved with organizations on campus, or we can help you start a brand new one. So what are you waiting for? It's time to shape your involvement at UWW. If you'd like to learn more, stop by UC 127 or contact us at involvement@uww.edu or call 262-472-6217.
Welcome back to PEOMIOSFYRDS. It's time once again to do our 2-minute drill, covering as many topics as possible. Are you ready, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
All right, I guess we'll just get right into it. Nazir, thoughts on Jason Kelce officially retiring?
I like you more than your brother. I think you're great. I think you are going to be one of the best centers to ever play this game. I have much respect for Jason Kelce. Great guy, great human being. He deserves it all.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to watch him chug beers on the sidelines.
Absolutely.
And in the whatever with Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm excited for the podcast content.
That should be great.
Podcast is good. Gabe, thoughts on how the Suns and Clippers will fare without Devin Booker and Russell Westbrook, respectively?
I think Phoenix is going to struggle, because KD and Bradley Beal, you just never know health-wise with them. Clippers, I think they'll be okay. I think Russ is still a great leader on the bench, regardless if he's playing or not. I can see the Clippers being okay.
The Suns will make the playoffs regardless.
Yeah, no,
so the
I
Clippers, I think they're both fine. I don't think anything's going to happen without either of them. Booker come back in about a week.
Nazir, thoughts on Yusuf Nurkic's 31-rebound game, the most in an NBA game in 13 years?
Enough with the Yusuf Nurkic hate. I'm sick of it. I hate when people say that he's not a great center. He is great. He has proven it the other night. It's unbelievable. I was watching the game. He was getting everything, literally bodying the entire team. So Yes, enough with that. He's great.
I think he's great. I do think he's overrated, though.
Oh, my goodness. Here we go. He's perfectly rated.
He's probably, I would say he's an average NBA center. I don't think he's anything spectacular. Wow. Yes, average.
No.
What does Yusuf Nurkic bring to your team that's throwing you?
Rebound, playmaking, defense.
Nope, sorry.
Continue.
Sorry.
All right, Gabe, how will Xavier Worthy's record-breaking 40-yard dash time at the Combine affect his draft stock?
Well, John Ross, let's ask him first.
Yep.
He's not in the league anymore, so we can start there. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Xavier Worthy, Best of luck to you, man. I don't care. Truthfully, I don't care.
He's great. He broke a record, a very unbreakable record. So he's going to get picked first round. And somehow the Chiefs are going to get him. I'm calling it right now.
Also true.
I hope that they don't, but he will be a first round pick now.
It's a two-sided coin.
Yes.
Is there any legitimacy about Patriots? Never mind. Guess we ran out of time on that one. We'll try and do better next week. I'm sure we'll be able to roll through a bit quicker, but obviously the use of Nurkic got a little bit extra hit. And so that is the end of our 2-minute drill. Tune in again next week for another edition of PEOMIOSFYRDS Live at 7 in the evening right here on UWW-TV. For Nazir Spencer and Gabe Sadowski, I'm Alex Monti saying thank you for excusing our momentary interruption of sports from your regular daily schedule. Good night.